comment one, Neil, as we've been talking about this. As you look at the future for sales as a profession, what would you say are the 2 or 3 key issues?
Well, the first thing is we've got to build in sales a systematic body of knowledge. You know, estimates vary in terms of how many sales programs are being taught in universities compared with marketing programs. But most people say it's somewhere between 40 and 90.
Yeah.
Now, you'd imagine there might be 40 to 90 marketing jobs for every sales job. And of course it's the other way around. So what's wrong with this picture? And what's wrong with it is sales is not being taught systematically because we haven't brought together a systematic body of knowledge. But here's the good news, it is there. Well, right now we have a growing body of solid knowledge about selling, and it's at least as good as the stuff we know about marketing, and at least as systematic. That's the first thing. In the future that will become clearer, it will be more systematically taught, and that underpins any professionalism of any kind.
We talked about the 3 stages, so to speak. The first having a, quote, base standard or base curricula. The second, some process of certification. And the third, obviously, being the whole process of recognizing the specialties, and that being kind of a definition of professionalism. And I think we're going to have a great time working on that over the next few years. As you look at each one of those, could you give us just a little soundbite by what we mean by standards for curriculum, and what we mean by certification, and what we mean by specialization?
Okay, well, let's start with the whole idea of standards for curriculum. This goes back to that concept of a body of knowledge, a base body of knowledge that people need to know to survive in this world of sales. We use this word selling, and it's a terrible legacy word. It drags us into stereotypes of the past. Mm-hmm. Selling is evolving as a very sophisticated profession in terms of managing the interface between company and customer. And as that happens, we need to have that solid knowledge. That's number one. That's the base. Secondly, employers need to have the risk taken out of bringing a salesperson on board.
Okay.
A salesperson can cost several $100,000 and more in the future to bring up to speed.
Prepare. That's great.
You want to have some indication that that person can make it. And certification is a way of showing that at least that person understands those fundamental basics of how to sell. Third thing, specialization, comes back to this word selling. We use the same thing to sell a used car as we do to sell a multi-million dollar complex system. And it's not the same thing. It's fundamentally different. And so we have to think of selling as too general a word to be useful anymore. We have to distinguish between key account selling, business-to-business sales, all of those things.
As you look forward, give me 1 or 2 or 3 points about what you hope to see, or what you expect to see. Let's put it that way. What you expect to see from your participation, of mine and others, with the University Sales Education Foundation, or USEF.
I think what I would like to see is an imbalance corrected. I think we have to teach sales in proportion to the sales jobs that are out there, because we're going to go through, I believe, fairly hard times for quite a long time. And if people are going to invest in education for themselves or for those who work for them, they need to feel that education is of some transferable use. And sales is an area which is highly transferable. Whether you're in sales or not, in any high-level job nowadays, you are working with customers, you're working with suppliers, you're working with alliance partners. All of these things demand skills at handling that business interface, which we would now call sales skills.
Yeah.
Everyone needs them.